Respiratory diseases are currently on the rise in Schleswig-Holstein. According to the latest figures from the Robert Koch Institute, schoolchildren between the ages of 5 and 14 are currently the most affected. About 1 in 6 children in the north. What a virologist now recommends we hear in our focus. Good morning on this Wednesday, February 19th. I'm Kirsten Stunkel and I brought you these topics. Dead off silt, what's next for the sperm whale? Prices are rising, trains and buses in Schleswig-Holstein are getting more expensive. And a dead bouncer from Elbschlosskeller Hamburg police have a 42-year-old in their sights. But first, let's take a look at our focus.
Today in Focus.
I'm hearing about a lot of flu cases in the area right now, and it doesn't seem to be just in my bubble. According to virologist Professor Helmut Wilkenschur from the University of Kiel, the flu is dominating. The numbers are way above average. He believes it is a stable wave that is spreading across all age groups. Respiratory syncytial virus and noroviruses are also circulating. A wild cocktail. The wave of cases of influenza, as the flu is also known, could be even higher than the figures suggest. Not all cases of influenza are reported. Younger people without pre-existing conditions sometimes experience the flu as a bad cold and stay home for a few days without seeing a doctor, Wilkenschur says. But the virus is dangerous for seriously ill children and the elderly. It also too often affects people with pre-existing conditions and people with risk factors, such as asthma. I asked myself, is it worth getting a flu shot now, or how do you even know you have the flu? The doctor explained to us that the peculiarity of this flu is its sudden onset, accompanied by a severe feeling of sickness and weakness. He expects the wave of infections to continue until Easter and recommends that people get vaccinated now. The flu virus is often very variable, the doctor explained. The fluctuations are so great that the flu can be completely absent for a season. However, even the current flu cases are normal for this time of year. According to pediatrician Dr. Sebastian Groth, hospitalization for inpatient treatment is necessary if the general condition is poor. However, people with cold symptoms should always wear FFP2 masks to protect others from infection. Let's take a look at what else is important in Schleswig-Holstein.
Dead off silt, what's next for the sperm whale?
An unusual guest was found off Hernum on the North Sea island of Sylt, a male sperm whale floating lifeless in the water. The animal has since been brought ashore and will now be further studied and used. Researchers from the Institute for Terrestrial and Aquatic Wildlife Research in Busum took skin and tissue samples from the animal. There are several reasons for this. First, they want to expand their basic knowledge of the species, says marine biologist and research associate Josef Schnitzler. And little is known about the males in particular, who go on long migrations. The animals usually travel in groups, and by studying the animal, Schnitzler could also find out where they have been. He also hopes the samples will provide information about the sperm whale's health. He thinks they might also find clues as to why the animal ended up in the North Sea. Changing climatic conditions could also have contributed, but the exact causes are still being investigated. But there will be no quick results. The analysis will take several weeks, Schnitzler said. Individual parts of the whale still need to be processed. The remarkable lower jaw will remain in silt for the time being and will be put on display.
Trains and buses in Schleswig-Holstein are getting more expensive.
Public transportation in the north is getting more expensive. As of April 1st, the ticket prices in the Schleswig-Holstein tariff will increase by an average of almost 5%. This was announced by Nahverkehr Schleswig-Holstein GmbH. The Deutschland ticket, whose price was increased at the beginning of the year, will not be affected.
Dead bouncer from Elbschlosskeller.
The Elbschlosskeller at the Hamburger Berg in St. Pauli. Open around the clock, known far beyond the borders of northern Germany. As a place to go for those in need of help and those who are stranded, as an attraction for tourists, but also as Hamburg's toughest neighborhood pub. Now, the man who has always protected others there has become a victim himself. The 48-year-old doorman Lars K. died on Sunday, apparently as a result of a fight. The extent to which the crime and the subsequent death are causally connected is to be clarified in a death investigation. The Hamburg police yesterday also referred to the ongoing investigation. However, a spokeswoman confirmed to our editorial team that after the incident on the morning of February 4th, a man had been identified who was allegedly involved in the fight. The 42-year-old was said to have been released after undergoing identification treatment. According to Daniel Schmidt, landlord of the Elbschloss Keller, this is the 77th death in his 20 years as manager of the Elbschloss Keller. By the way, the Elbschloss Keller on Hamburger Berg is open around the clock.
Journalism at School, 2025 program.
Artificial intelligence, fake news, conspiracy theories, and freedom of speech. These are just some of the topics that are on the minds of today's students. The Journalism at School 2025 program offers young people the opportunity to discuss these issues with journalists. In this way, school classes can get to know the content of journalistic work. This year, from May 5th to July 25th, colleagues from myself, shz, and other media companies will visit school classes to discuss current topics such as media literacy, freedom of expression, recognizing disinformation, and dealing with social media. Registration is open through March 3rd. That's it for today. Have a great day.